Peace, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode, guys. Episode 4 of Out the Loop. All right. Today I feel like we have something pretty, on topic for the world itself, but we are going to get right into it. My name is Jamesia. We have Gillian and we have Reshonah as well, the lovely goddesses. And yeah, I feel like today is going to be basically just talking about what it's like to be out the loop during certain sicknesses, right? During certain times where worldwide we have these episodes going on where we feel like maybe we need to buy more groceries at that time or stack up on water, stack up on canned goods, things like that. So how do you stay out the loop in the midst of chaos, or how do you stay grounded in the midst of chaos? That's what we'll be getting into today. So sit down, grab y'all water, grab y'all teas, your snacks, whatever you got to grab, and let's get into it. So, Reshonah. So here's the thing, right? I was driving on the highway and something popped up about something supposed to be happening like in October. I don't know if you ladies have heard about it, but it's like October 4th. Like something is going to be going on with the cell phones. They're going to send some signals through something. I don't know. I don't watch the news, y'all. So whatever I find out, it has to like mysteriously pop up somewhere. Because the news is not my friend, right? None of that. No news stations on social media, no none of that. So it has to happen for me to find out about it, right? And so, but something had popped up saying that something was gonna happen, and it made me think, like, all this stuff that be going on, right? How do you stay out the loop? Because that's essentially a loop, just like scare tactics. That's how I feel. I feel like all this stuff that be happening worldwide is scare tactics, essentially, because we're not running out of food, we're not running out of water. Like that stuff is abundantly here. Like we are surrounded by it, right? And so for me, I was just thinking about it. How do you stay out the loop when things like that happen, especially if you don't realize it's a loop or if you don't realize you're in the loop? So Reshonah, I want to ask you, how is it possible for all of these news stations to be saying, y'all better go grab y'all waters, y'all better go grab y'all canned goods? Like, how do you stay calm in the midst of that type of chaos? Or
I think
mask this, mask that, mask this. How do you stay calm?
think what works for me now is because I actually allow myself to ascend spiritually. I think that's my anchor. So when I do hear things, I really don't watch the news either. But I am a part of different several stations, meaning like our community. And so when things are happening, I think the way we move energetically is on a spiritual level. So there's automatically a calm because you're already prepared on, like you already kind of got the dream about what's about to happen. So you're like, all right, let me bring this awareness out from the dreams that I just got. Or I'm tapping to Jamesia or Gillian, and I'm like, yo, what your spirit guys told you, what we need to do. So
no, for real.
Tapping in helps a lot, but dealing with, again, reality, because we are in all realms. It's also preparation. It's not that you're moving scarcity. It's saying, I have a family, I have a community, and if things were to go down, I'm not moving scarcity, but I'm prepared. And so prepared because we know there are other energies out there that are trying to control the masses. So when you don't feed into that, but you also prepare, you're moving in calm when everyone else is running chaos. So what does that look like? It's like, I have my spirit team, I have my soul team. I'm like, Gillian, what you got over your house? I'm like, my little BK crypto family. We going to your house, we'll be cooking dinner and meals and stuff and cracking it up and still moving how we move every day. Maybe if I can, I get a plane ticket and I'm flying somewhere, right? It's not like I'm still living normal within the chaos. Because spiritually, energetically, I've been already prepared of how to deal with what everyone else is going through. Because here's the thing, as a spiritualist, as you keep ascending, you're going to be around so many people that are going to create their perceptions and projections on you. And when you don't move the same way, they're looking at you like, what's going on? And I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. And that also sometimes helps to radiate more to them to realize, stop moving in this fear tactic. We live in a system that has always created something, right? And I'm not saying things didn't occur. I'm saying that the more we feed into the belly of the beast, the more it becomes you, right? So you got to vibrate higher. So even when this incident occurred in 2020, I prepared. I had my son honestly watch the Tuskegee experiment so that he's not moving in the house with me on fear. So again, it's preparing. It's knowing who is your family, meaning who, you know, gets it soulfully, that you guys are all vibrating on the same level, and you just protect it. It's a different feeling when everyone's running crazy and you walk in and smiling with the sun. And you radiating.
That's right. Absolutely.
Like
truth is truth. You mentioned when stuff went down in 2020. And I remember that it was just so surreal for me because I'm so grounded in myself that it didn't faze me. I knew I wasn't, well, from the get-go, I knew certain things weren't what they were being projected to be. I knew that innately. And I knew that I wasn't going to be fazed by anything. I automatically knew when, well, I was still kind of watching TV. There were certain shows I would watch for entertainment. And then when it started going left with all this looping of stories and news and so on, I just shut the TV off. Right now, it's a relic covered by, I have no cable, and the television is covered by, what do you call it? A cloth or whatever you want to call it. So when my nieces and nephews come over and they want to watch TV, I tell them that it's broken. Because I do have a Fire Stick, but I just don't want to put the TV on. As far as I'm concerned, it's not important. But I was so grounded in my knowing. No, they won't. They're too young. I'm so grounded in who I am, even though I was going through crap, and I wasn't necessarily in the fullness of who I am spiritually as I am now. I knew that I wasn't going to be in that loop. The thing that was, even though there were people around me who were not necessarily running scared, but wanting to toe the line because nobody knew exactly what was going on, I was walking down empty streets in Brooklyn to go visit my mother practically every day. Just me in the street. People probably thought I was crazy. Just living normal. I did not run into any store looking for extra stuff, afraid that there would be nothing to eat and all of that. Whatever I needed, I stood up in the lines with my, if necessary, with Machel Montano and basically soca music playing in my ear, vibing, and that got me
Yeah.
through it. So,
Yeah. I heard
so
that.
yeah,
I heard
that was
that.
the strategy.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely. I think for me too, same thing. Like I'm such a it's crazy with me. Like I'm such a person who does not follow rules. Like I hate them, right?
Right.
But then on the other hand, then on the other hand, like some stuff is like justice. Like I like it. Like I that's my placement. It's just like half and half because some stuff is just dumb. Like I'm like rules, like no way. Like that's not me. So I never followed them the entire time. I was not wearing masks. Like I told a few managers, you gonna kick me out your store, you gonna stop talking to me. You got choices here. Like I was not the one to be like, oh sure, I'll wear it. Cause for what? You was just gonna stop talking to me in like 3 seconds. So I just feel like yeah, I wasn't the one and I never got sick or anything like that. Like I was perfectly fine. But I feel like how I stayed grounded, I think one of the things is just having that knowing like what I put my thoughts into grows, right? And so if I feel like I'm gonna be sick, or if I feel like, oh my gosh, they're saying that, whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? What I put my energy into is gonna grow. So if I feel like it's gonna be some water when I get there, I don't know about everybody else, but when I get there and I need some spring water, honey, it's gonna be some spring water for me somewhere in the thing, right? And so it always was, right? Like I didn't starve, like I always had what I needed. And I think like Reshonah said, just knowing and then meditation, like being able to call up the homies, right? What y'all spirit team say? Mine said such and such. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that stuff helps. But I think we have to because everybody not gonna do that, right? Everybody
No,
not gonna
no.
be like, well, let me just calm down. I feel like it's easier said than done. I think we just have something, right?
Right.
So for the people who are just maybe they're new, right? Maybe they have some older grandparents,
Right, because
who
that's a
feel like they
sensitive.
have to protect,
Yes,
right?
100%.
So I
That's
must
very
do what they
sensitive.
say because maybe I cannot do it, but my grandma, like, she's 70, she's 80, she's 90, she needs to do it, right?
Correct.
For them, I'm just like, I still say, like, if you don't need it, she don't need it, right? Like I think that once you change your mind about it all, you genuinely start to notice different things. Like if you feel like your grandma is gonna need it, then she's gonna need it. But if you reverse your thinking, right, and be like, okay, she's protected, or she's this, or she's that, then that's exactly what she is. And I don't know. I'm trying to think like some ways because like I said, it's easier said than done, obviously. But what are some ways other than, because I feel like everything I'm saying is like easier said than done, even with retraining, like rethinking stuff, because you got all these people in your ear talking about, girl, like, no, she gonna die. Like, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have majority of that. And so if you're not, I don't want to say strong enough because we strong, right? Or they're strong. But if you're not like, I don't know the word. If you ain't strong enough, for better lack of a word, right? Then you're going to listen to that instead of yourself.
All right.
So
It
what's
seeps in. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I didn't hear what you said. No,
I
you go
said
ahead.
it's yeah, people's concerns and so on can seep in when they come to you with those those thoughts like this will happen and that'll happen and this is happening and that is happening and you got to do this and you got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole idea is to be kind of physically prepared in ways other than buying toilet paper and stocking up on toilet paper and water and so on. You got your herbs that you
Right, that's
can
what I was
use
gonna go.
to shore up your immune system. And
Correct.
when you, like, for instance, last weekend we were out in the country and um, spent some time out in the dew and in the sun and walking around barefoot and so on. And of course, I came down with a cold because I'm not really accustomed to that. So yesterday, so I knew to put in a pot some star anise, some oregano, some lemongrass. What else did I put in there? And boil that up, drink it, and almost immediately after drinking a cup of that, I was fine, right? Um, so just knowing that everything that we need is here, everything natural that we need is here, that you can have, you can stock up on your herbs. Oh, elderberry was in there as well. So you can stock up on certain herbs to prepare for this whole scenario. Certain supplements you should be taking, like vitamin D3 and vitamin K2 and magnesium,
Zinc.
and getting out in the
Zinc.
sun, and your potassium and your zinc, and um, eating more high vibrationally, you know, in terms of fruits and vegetables and greens and things like that. Those are things that you want to be doing. And the weather is changing, right? So, especially here in the north, we are going into fall. So, naturally, things occur because there is this attempt to balance between it being really, really hot some days and then the next day it's cold. And you can naturally get the flu from that, or then you have allergies to think about. So what we want to do is stock up on our herbs, make sure that we're eating high vibrationally to support our immune system. And I find that when I'm taking in high vibrational things, my body is, well, things that vibrate at a high frequency so that to help us to thrive. My body naturally steps up to that level, and it's easier then not to have thoughts that we shouldn't have, and people who shouldn't be interfering in our lives interfere with them in a negative way.
That makes sense. So basically, the higher you vibrate, it's the higher you vibrate, it's easier for things to not be able to interfere as they are on lower frequencies. I get that. Absolutely. I definitely get
Because
that.
then it all becomes a joke. It's like, okay. So at least that's my perspective. Yeah, Reshonah.
No, to both of your point, as I was going to say before, we're not disregarding that people weren't getting sick, and the big concern was about the elders because it was really about the immune system. A lot of the people that did get sick, they had underlying issues, you know, and those underlying issues, as we all know, is easy for anything to seep in. And because of the underlying issues, they weren't part of the herbalist society. Let's just keep it real. A lot of people who have underlying issues or conditions and diseases, they take a lot of pharmaceutical medicines, right? And so even when spiritually, you know, you should not, there's something that happens psychological where you feed into the Western medicine, which is just suppression. And it's I call it a Band-Aid. It's a quick fix. So that's one loop, you know, it's nothing wrong. We're not saying that certain parts of Western medicine is not needed, but to the point of what Gillian was saying is, it's kind of remembering back to what we know, right? That herbs is natural and has always been a place for healing, because if you were listening to alternative media, you saw all the videos where it was like, get your lemon, get your cayenne pepper, get your ginger, get your onions. when you listen to the mass media, it was like, get your shot, right? Stay inside, put on the mask. If you had any time to think without being in fear and remember science class, you're talking about oxygen. Why would you have a mask on all day? Where it basically removes you from actually breathing, right? So, but when you're in fear, you can't rational. I saw doctors riding down the parkway with a mask on.
Wow.
When you think about that, in the park, riding on a bike with a mask on, doctors, that's how deep we were hit psychologically.
Wow. So if the doctor's doing it, we need to do it.
Right, right, right. It's a psychological thing. But those who took time to set back after everything kind of like cleared its way, you start realizing, wait, when I was back in the days, I used to eat worms and play in the dirt. You know, you think about those simple things because that boosted your immune system. I can't come outside and play anymore. So what is that actually doing? It's suppressing and diminishing your immune system naturally. We was no sun gazing. It was like, don't go outside. It was the setup, right? So when you sit back and think and you find, like Gillian said, I was walking down the street going to see my mother because you were vibrating somewhere differently. I was outside going food shopping every day, feeding my child, and I was part of KT and Black Magic 363 cleansing for the new year with all the herbs. Again, it was who I was associated with, understanding that I needed to vibrate higher, and it was really about boosting that immune system. And then you had other medicines that were taken off the shelf that was a quick fix in healing, but then it was taken off around the world. You had to question that too. Well, why is this taken off the shelf? If this can help within a day or two. It's just, I don't think when you're living in fear, you don't have time to process.
Yeah, you can't think straight. Yeah.
You can't think straight.
Absolutely.
You can't. And for those who had, you know, immune issues and diseases, I can understand you want to get on partial medicine, but then there's also the other part where a lot of people also who had those issues want herbs, and it helped them tremendously during those times. But then there were doctors who were conflicted, who understood herbs, but they were so part of the Western civilization, they couldn't even see straight. It's so deep. Again, it's when you think about the psychological warfare that we get into that really causes this disease.
Yeah.
And you don't question things like you should. Back to basics.
Yeah.
It kind of goes back to that thing of being grounded in yourself and knowing who you are and standing firm in knowing who you are and knowing that this is what I'm going to do. I know that that this is what works, and that's it. That's the bottom line.
I mean, even when it came to, right, because yes, it's a very sensitive time, and we all lost a lot of people. And when you start losing people, that creates more fear, right? Yeah. The issue with that too, which was very sensitive and sad, is that everything was announced that it was why people were basically transitioning.
Can I say something before you keep going? It's so crazy that you brought that up. Literally, I had someone in my family to transition during that time, and they said it was that. But y'all already know, being who we are, hello, somebody. Why, after she transitioned, she told me that wasn't that. She literally told me. I'm like, girl, I know, child, I know. We just gonna let them folk think. We just go, like, It's so crazy. Like, we can connect to our people. Like, y'all, just connect. It's oh my gosh, it's so important because you realize, honey, that the lies are lying. Like, they're really doing what they do on purpose. Like, it's all a big facade. But continue. Yeah, I just wanted to say that because
to that statement, that was perfect, because to have that magic that you have and tapped in that way is powerful, because everyone doesn't have that. They're not there, right? Because we've been practicing to be in tune, to not be afraid. But because of the severity of what was happening, because we're moving fear, we still didn't even rational. It's impossible statistically that everyone can transition on that. Impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible. But you
And
don't
the
have time to
statistics
think.
are there,
The
public.
statistics are there and have been there, and the amount of statements that have poured out after regarding the benefits to make that statement was for the hospitals.
Yeah.
So whatever is going to be planted again, it's just saying, this conversation is just saying, we definitely send love and divine love to those who have lost someone in transition. We're saying in this conversation of how do we prepare ourselves? How do we build our immune system when things come out of the woodwork that seems irrational? How to better set yourself up for those moments, so that we're not in the same place or energy that we were in 2020. That's what we're saying. We're saying, if possible, how to look for the clues early on, or take control of yourself, your family, your partner, your community, and build that immune system and knowledge, or connect with the healers, right? In the space, who are here to assist, to help you vibrate higher when possibly maybe you're not in a place to think clear.
Yeah, and
to happen again, whatever it is, I don't know, but you can be prepared.
Yeah, another big thing too is asking questions. Ask questions. It is okay to ask questions, y'all. We gotta stop just taking people's word for it. I feel like that's why where we at today. Like, stop just taking people's word for it. And if them people can't answer you, honey, that's a no. It's a no. Like, you don't need to be listening to them. If they can't help you figure out the answer, then why are you listening to them? Because it's probably made up.
And
apart from,
right? Go ahead, Gillian.
Apart from asking them questions, when you hear stuff and you get this question that comes up in your head, like, or thought that this don't make sense, don't throw it aside. That's your intuition, your higher self alerting you to the fact that this is BS, and just sit and listen and think about how about what is the alternative. Do your research. There is so much information out there available.
Absolutely.
Doctors, nurses, healers, just people who get downloads. Even children, teenagers have videos out there telling you what to do and how to do it, because they're getting this information from the ethers. So when that thought comes into your head, or that question pops in when you're watching the news and they say something and you're like, this don't make sense.
Yeah.
I need to be doing something else. Don't chuck it aside and say, that don't question it. Go with it and follow it.
Yep. Trust yourselves, guys.
Trust yourself, right? Trust yourself.
Yep. That's it. Oh, I'm like, oh, yeah. But yeah, I mean, so I feel like that was just something, to talk about during this time, because I don't know. Like I said, it randomly came up. So obviously there is something brewing or whatever the case. Like I said, I do not watch the news, but what I do watch is at 3 to 5 in the rising, I connect to myself, and that be my TV. That be my news. Whatever they say I need to do, that's what I do when I do it. But
or the sky.
Or the sky. Oh, now that's my, it'd be the sky for me. Yes, absolutely. I'm always looking up there. We connect. We this close. But yeah, y'all. So that was just some tidbits. Because in all seriousness, things are going to be popping out, right? That's just the times that we live in. We live in a space where there's a war happening, and the war is way bigger than us. No, we are not down here with, well, some places might be, but we're not down here with the police and the big old little guns and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, there's definitely a war happening, and it's a spiritual war. And you know, it's manifesting down here. And the way it's manifesting is to see how many people we can scare today. And so if you know what fear is, then you would understand that it's not real at all. There's no reason to be fearful of anything. And that goes into knowing who you are as well. I feel like that's a big part of knowing who you are, in order to not be fearful. But yeah, we just wanted to talk about that, y'all. We hope that you got some insight from it, because it's definitely happening. You know what I'm saying? But don't be fearful. Don't be scared. It's all good. Listen to yourself, your intuition, and all that good stuff. Do y'all have anything else to add?
Listen to
Going
your
once, going
heart.
twice. No, yeah, but okay, so it's given that
Look
it was
to the
pretty
sky.
short.
It's the color of love. There must have been an angel by my side. Someone help me to you from up above. It led me to you. It led me to you. And that just means lead to yourself. You listen, the self, the
That's Sade,
soul.
by the way, y'all.
Yes, don't lie. I mean, the awakening is real. Just take time to go into yourself. And when you hearing things, just ask Spirit again. Just give me a real serious clue that I'm seeing right, I'm feeling right. Because most than likely, you are. You are. You are.
Totally. Absolutely. Well, y'all, with that being said, we're going to wrap it up. This was the easiest episode. Real short, but very, very, very good information. I love y'all so much. I appreciate y'all for watching. We all love you guys tremendously. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you comment down below what your favorite part was and how this information helped you. And also, before we get out of here, again, we do want to start answering questions and things like that. Or if you have a scenario that you would like advice on, we want to answer those through our email. Our email is outtheloop, OUTDALOOP 777 at gmail.com. Go ahead and send us emails there, and we will answer them in the podcast itself. Follow us on all of our platforms. Oh, and also, yes, like the video. Also like the video.
And
so
share.
follow us on our platforms and share. Yes, thank you, ladies, so much.
Caring.
Y'all share y'all's Instagram and y'all's YouTubes. I know y'all have both.
Go ahead, Reshonah.
So yes, you can also follow us at bkcrypto.com, RB Rising One, BK Crypto Store, for more of your financial evolution in this wonderful space of crypto, blockchain, and building wealth through Web 3.0. So let's evolve. There's so many levels to evolve. Let's thrive.
Let's thrive. And my YouTube is Gillian Thomas 41. And I'm on IG at the_wholesome_life_coach. Oh my gosh. Yes. And our all of that information will be in the description below. So check us out. Be nice, y'all.
Love y'all. Signing out.
Love you so good.
Love y'all
Yes,
so
so,
good.
so good.
Peace.
Peace.